Hello, friends, and welcome to Top of the Stack MTG. It has been a long time. I hope that all of you are doing really, really well. I want to start this video by just doing a couple quick shout outs to Mariah and Dale and Damned Valkyrie for subscribing recently. Very wonderful. Also to Jack and LOJ1K for sending me messages. It's so nice to hear from people, and it was really a good thing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We do have a lot to talk about because it's been a while. Let's start with Commander. Dan and I played a little bit of Commander recently. We had a blast. It was seriously so much fun. Dana put together a zombie deck. She used the Scarab God as her commander, so she could get him back and get him back. And that worked really well for her. She also had a bunch of banners that would give zombies +1/+1, and a bunch of lords, other zombies that gave zombies +1/+1. A lot of ways to get things out of the graveyard. Neat thing about Commander, of course, is you can only use one of each card, which is a wonderful, great thing for a card, for a game maker to do, because it's less expensive. If you can have 4 copies of every card in your deck, then that means you gotta own 4 copies of every card, so it gets really pricey. But for Commander, it's not so bad. And another fun thing is, you get to use a bunch of cards that you normally wouldn't use, because you get 100 in the deck and you only get 1 of each. So you honestly need to pick like 60 cards to put your deck together, as opposed to the 9 to 12 that you might pick to build a normal Magic deck. It was super fun. We had a blast. I played a green Stompy deck. One thing you should probably know about playing Commander is try to pick something that limits you. Something that's really restrictive. Dana was pretty lucky saying, I want to play zombies, because then she didn't have to read a lot of cards. We did restrict ourselves just to kind of frontier cards. We do own a few old cards, and we did play with a couple, which I might talk about, but we really restricted ourselves to Frontier, because that's the cards that we own, the cards that we know, and the cards that we love. So Dana just went through the zombies and was able to pick a bunch and put something together, and I said, I want green. So I had like 1,000 cards to read, and it was crazy, but it was worth it. It was a super fun deck. I really enjoyed it. I started off playing Ronus, I think is the god's name, the green god, as my commander. But as I played for a bit, I ended up going with Yissen the Wandering Bard. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe Yissen. And the guy's great. I really liked it because I was able to ramp. He's just a tutor. He'll go into your draw pile, grab a card, and put it on the battlefield. But he has to start out small. You get 1 more mana each turn to do it with. So of course you're going to grab ramp. You're going to grab small guys that you can tap in order to gain more mana at first. If he lives for a long time, you're going to start getting big guys, but no one will let that happen. So you just get some ramp really quick, and then you're able to use your other tutors or what you happen to draw and just play these really large beasts, which is excellent. It was a blast. Seriously, it was super fun. We had a great time. Next, I would like to talk about controversy. There's been a lot of controversy in the Magic Gathering community lately, which is really silly, in my opinion. I know that there are big changes coming, and a lot of people are anxious for those changes in the community. So it can kind of feel like there's not much going on. There's a lot of products coming out and stuff, but everybody's kind of holding their breath for what's in the future, which we'll get to in a minute. But it creates a little bit of boredom, and that can create some controversy, some strife. So for me, I believe personally Everybody wants to be a part of a group. It's a human thing. Everybody needs to belong. It's so extreme in humans that you could literally smile at a total stranger that you will never see again. Just smile in their direction and it will change their entire day. Because suddenly they feel like they belong. Suddenly they feel like someone else in the world recognizes them and is aware of them. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to belong and to want to belong. That's a good thing, but it can easily be taken advantage of. So for me, when it comes to trying to find a group to be a part of, I have one big rule, and the rule is do not join any group that has an enemy. Straight up. If you walked up to a group of people and they were really nice and you were having fun, and then they suddenly looked at you and said, by the way, did you know squirrels are trying to kill you? It's time to go. That's it. Seriously. They are using an enemy as a tool in order to collect followers. They're interested only in numbers and power. And enemies are excellent for gathering numbers and power. Politicians do it. Churches do it. YouTubers do it, right? Lots of organizations do it. And generally, the ones that really harp on that stuff are not the ones that you want to be a part of, because they're going to kind of indoctrinate you and take you in and maybe even make you do things that you don't really want to do, to be honest. That's another crazy thing that I've learned over time. There's not a point where a human can say, I'm grown up. I've crossed the line. Everything I do from here on out is going to be wise, and it just doesn't work that way, right? When you're 18, you think to yourself, I'm an adult. I'm going to do things. I'm going to get out there, and I know stuff. 3 years later, you're going to look back, and you're probably going to be filled with a lot of guilt and a lot of regret for the stupid things that you did because you thought you had crossed the line into being an adult, right? And then you're 21 and you think, okay, now I've learned a little bit, I've crossed the line, everything's good. 5 years later, you're going to look back and think, oh, what an idiot I was for the stupid things I did when I was 21. And that never stops. That regret and that guilt just builds and builds and builds. And it's not for the same thing. I hope it's not for the same thing. Hopefully you learn your lesson and you only do these things once. But if you can skip doing some of them so you don't have that guilt upon yourself about all the stupid things you wrote on the internet or whatever, do it. Skip it. Try to be a part of a group that just focuses on things that they like, not on things that they hate. Try to do good, kind things. You can disagree with a person. You can even maybe deep down inside think to yourself, I don't like that person. But you should still just be nice. Just be nice. Because then later, you don't have to look back and go, what an idiot I was. Why did I do that? Why did I stir that up? Or why did I cause that commotion? Or why did I... You don't have to feel that way. You shouldn't lay in bed all night thinking to yourself, why can't I go to sleep? I know why. It's because I'm so mad at those flat earthers or whatever craziness you're getting caught up in. You know what I mean? You don't have to live like that. Just try to be nice to everybody and try to be a part of a group that doesn't focus on hate. And there are thousands of groups to choose from. Literally thousands. Just pick something. You already have. You've picked the magic community. And the magic community is wonderful. It really is. It's a truly great community with wonderful people all throughout. And we don't need to pick sides. We don't need to get involved in whatever craziness somebody comes in and creates because they're looking for power. Wow, sorry, I went off on that for a while. Sorry. Okay, what else can we talk about? Let's talk about video games. So I finally, about 2 days ago, received an invitation to a certain beta test video game. It's a closed beta test, which means I can't talk about it. I have not started. I don't even own a PC yet. This beta requires a PC. So I'm going to go try to pick up a PC tomorrow that meets the requirements. And hopefully I'll receive an email within the next few days. And I'll get to try this thing. And it's going to be amazing. I'm going to make suggestions, of course, as you do in a beta. And it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. And the beta won't be closed for very long. It's going to become an open beta soon, and then we're going to be able to just talk about anything. And I can promise you guys, honestly, when this thing goes live, our Magic community is going to explode. There is going to be so much to talk about. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be so many new people in the community. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be 100 new YouTube creators. It's going to be amazing, and I'm so excited for it. It's going to be a big deal, seriously. And it's coming soon, so that's very good. It'll be very good for me especially, because it'll be nice to finally start doing what I want to be doing, which is great. So that's really good. You will see more of me, absolutely. Finally, I wanted to talk about my nose. I wanted to talk about this Band-Aid. I wish I had a really cool story about saving puppies or something crazy, but I don't. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, which is not a huge deal. It's a breathing problem. It can cause major problems, especially as you get older. It can become a real danger. Or if you have surgery. I had a surgery and I couldn't get enough oxygen, so they couldn't give me pain relievers, and it's a crazy thing. But that sort of led us to this. So now I have a machine, which I'm trying to get used to, but the way it sits on my face, it put a big sore right here on my nose. So that's why I have the Band-Aid. I'm hoping that once I get used to it, I'll actually be able to sleep at night. And supposedly, it's very life-changing. I've heard people say that, now that they're used to it, their life's completely different because they get plenty of rest, so they're able to really tackle things throughout the day, which would be incredible. So I hope that happens. I hope I can get used to the dang thing. It's crazy right now, but it's happening. It's just slow. Okay, that's all I got right now. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit scattered. Sorry about that. I do hope things come up quickly that we can continue to talk about. I'm not going anywhere. I want you all to know that. But there are gaps, and I'm sorry about that. Mostly because of the future, what's coming. So it'll be here soon, and we'll be able to just go crazy constantly. Good. Well, thanks again. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you later.